மயம் நண்பர்கள் வழங்கும் அறிவோம் நம்மவர்களை தொடருக்கு வருகை தந்திருக்கும் அனைவருக்கும் நன்றி. இன்று ஒரு சிறப்பு தொடர். We have a very very eminent person from மக்கள் நீதி மையம் party. We have Dr. Santhosh Babu sir with us live on our show. Thanking you lots for this wonderful time of yours. We know how precious your time is during this hearty election period. And thank you so much from all of us.
Thank you. வணக்கம் எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம்.
Thank you, sir. Sir, pati solnona, there's a huge, long way that I need to go, and it's very much essential that we all get to know. Sir, pati nichayama ellarukku therinjirukonu. So, here is a small introduction about Santhosh Babu sir. Santhosh Babu sir is a medical doctor turned Indian Administrative Service IAS officer of 1995 batch of Tamil Nadu cadre. He is also an alumnus of the Government Medical College Trivandrum. He's also a Gurukul scholar from the London School of Business, London School of Economics and Political Science, and an LKY fellow and MPM degree holder from the National University of Singapore and the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. He strongly believes that only leadership embedded in integrity and selflessness with the ability to innovate in the governance process can take India to prosperity. He's got an abiding passion to transform governance within his jurisdiction to world-class levels using modern management practices and tools which information technology provides. He has also had about 250 plus transformational initiatives and innovations to his credit. He's installed ERP-driven anytime, anywhere government offices, developing and implementing numerous web-based application softwares, establishing India's first rural BPO, the business process outsourcing units, etc. He has also conceived and edited numerous magazines and websites. I would like all the audience to take a break. Please breathe, because we have few more recognitions. It's very important we know the leader, we know the person who's there with us. Very very eminent, scholared person. Here there are the recognitions that has come through Dr. Santhosh Babu sir's way until now. He's been awarded the Best Collector Award of the Government of Tamil Nadu for Child Labor Eradication, Data Quest Magazine E-Governance Champion Award, South India 2008. He's been recognized as the Pride of Tamil Nadu by the Indian Express in its annual publication 2007. The Pride of Tamil Nadu is one of 5 persons who has made a difference in various aspects of public life. He's been recognized by the reputed Tamil magazine Ananda Vigadan as one of the top 10 people in Tamil Nadu in 2008. In 2017, Poombuhar won the National E-Governance Award and the Scotch Smart Governance Platinum Award under his leadership. Rotary Club Madras Metro presented him with the Changemaker Award in 2017. He was recently awarded the Disruptor Award by YourStory.com, JPR Icon Award by the JPR Foundation. He's also been a numerous fora speaker like the TEDx IIT Chennai, TEDx Hindustan University Chennai, and TEDx SVCE Chennai. His best moment so far, which any citizen of India would have actually thought about, his best moment was when the former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, quoted his work under the heading Committed Leadership in his speech on the occasion of the 7th National Civil Services Day, 21st April 2012 at New Delhi. In 2019, when he was serving as the Principal Secretary, Information Technology Department, Dr. Hiren Joshi, advisor to Honorable Prime Minister of India, had telephonically contacted Dr. Santhosh Babu and invited him to join as the CEO of mygov.com in Government of India. And here are the various places where Dr. Santhosh Babu has served in the government of Tamil Nadu in various capacities. He started as the sub-collector of Chidambaram, additional collector Tiruvallur, special officer CM Special Cell, executive director Tamil Nadu Corporation for Development of Women Limited, Joint Secretary, Department of Rural Development, District Collector of Shivaganga and Krishnagiri, Managing Director of ELCOT and CEO of Tamil Nadu E-Governance Agency, Commissioner of Horticulture and Plantation Crops, Commissioner of Indian Medicine and Homeopathy. He has also held additional charge as OSD, Chief Minister's Special Cell since 2016 till 2020, as in charge of the Amma call center. On 22 August 20, he took voluntary retirement from government service with 8 years to go for retirement. He now teaches public administration at the Officers IAS Academy at Chennai. He took the foray into politics and joined Padma Bhushan Dr. Kamal Hassan's party, Makkal Needhi Mayam, as its General Secretary headquarters, also in charge of IT, data, policy, manifesto, special projects, etc. He he has taken this big call. One, I think I have to hear that from Dr. Santhosh Babu sir itself. A very, very warm welcome. It's a pleasure to talk about you, sir. It's a pleasure to actually read about your achievements. I take it a very big honor to talk about you. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. And for all the people who are looking out there, please get to know more about Dr. Santhosh Babu sir. We've got his websites, we've got his social media platforms. Please get to know a renowned person, get to know more what his contributions are. And thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Linda, for the wonderful introduction. I think you missed out a small thing. I was also Secretary Information Technology in 2011 and Principal Secretary Information Technology in 2018-20. So that's where I had those issues and then I decided to come out. Anyways, ரொம்ப மகிழ்ச்சி because MNM நண்பர்கள் எங்கிட்ட ஏற்கனவே நம்ம நிறைய டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணியிருப்போம் ஜூமில் உங்களுடைய அந்த enthusiasm and zeal for the people of Tamil Nadu is very awe-inspiring. உங்களுடைய அந்த series of discussions முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் நார்த் அமெரிக்கா அந்த டிஸ்கஷன் முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் we had a lot of discussion inside our organization about your contributions, where you can come in, etc. So I wish everybody was like this because we need to give back to our state because நம்ம எல்லாம் அந்த resources எல்லாம் பயன்படுத்தி தான் நம்ம மேலுக்கு வந்திருக்கோம். So it's time to give back. To be a complete giver is what I think we all should be. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And the biggest thing that Santhosh Babu sir had taken this call, and he did mention to us about was that he couldn't bear the corruption that was actually happening. We will get to know more about this from sir. So to start with, I would like to have like a quick rapid fire with you with about 5 to 6 questions, if you are fine.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so much. So first of all, sir, what was your top achievement in life? Because you've been achieving quite a lot. What do you think was your top most achievement?
Bringing back 10,000 out-of-school children back to school was my biggest achievement. And that's the reason why Dr. Kalam spoke with me for 1 hour and then spoke about my work at New Delhi in front of the Prime Minister. I think that's possibly the biggest because, see, I keep saying that children all have the same DNA. We all have the same potential, but they don't have the same circumstance like you or me. So if you can provide the same circumstance like you or me, their talent will flower and bloom. And they could be as good as me or you or even better. So bringing back 10,000 is not an odd number. We had village volunteer force, or 10,000 makkal, Grama Tannarvu Pade, and I had the Panchayat level convergence committee. There is a people's movement, bringing back 10,000. அடிச்சு துன்புறுத்தி என்ன பண்ணாலும் பரவாயில்ல பட் அவங்களை ஸ்கூல் கொண்டு வரணும் but whatever they ask we will give because the collector of Tamil Nadu is possibly the best placed to because everything is almost free that can be given to the poor people. So if you can direct all that to the poor people. So when I was collector Krishnagiri 2006 to 8 ஒரு 10,000 குழந்தைகளை ஸ்கூலுக்கு போகாம இருந்தது அவங்க எல்லாம் திரும்பி கொண்டு வந்து நிறைய பேர் இப்போ டாக்டர்ஸ் இன்ஜினியர்ஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கேன் நிறைய பேர் இடையில ட்ராப் அவுட் ஆயிடுச்சு பட் ஸ்டில் அவங்களை அட்லீஸ்ட் 10th முடிக்க வச்சதுல பெரிய மகிழ்ச்சி இருக்கு எனக்கு.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So if you had an opportunity to get a message to a large number of people, what would your message be?
The message என்னன்னு கேட்டால் ஒரு எதிர்பார்ப்பு இல்லாத வாழ்க்கை வாழ வேண்டும் நம்மளெல்லாம் பிகாஸ் நமக்கு பிரேக்ஃபாஸ்ட் லஞ்ச் டின்னர் ஒரு குட் லைஃப் ஒரு குட் லைஃப் ஸ்டைல் எல்லாம் இறைவன் இதரால கிடைச்சது and our hard workers also. But once you have achieved that, you have to move towards a phase of self-actualization, which is basically not thinking about the self. We have to think about others. I think that's what Nunberger also, do, because you're always concerned about the state. Nama state innum melakku varanum, oru advanced state avanum ungalude manasil irukkudiya and adangam. And that's actually giving, basically giving. Although you are so busy in your own work, because your work demands a lot from you, but still you're able to spend time for the state. That's exactly what I would like people who have achieved in life to do. Not இதுன்னு என்ன எடுக்கலாம் என்று வரக்கூடாது. நான் என்ன கொடுக்கலாம், what can I do for my state, for my country? That should be then. இதுல எந்த எதிர்பார்ப்பும் இருக்கக்கூடாது.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. From your point of view, what is women empowerment, sir?
See, I have written about this on my personal website. A girl should be able to complete a 10th standard, do her +2, do her degree, stand on her economic feet, either joining government or private sector or an NGO or a startup. But she should be on her economic feet so that she can be equal to the partner. Then only actual empowerment happens. And there are so many other things. For example, but parallelly, the empowerment starts from this home. Because the girl child has to be given equal education, equal importance at home. 1, 2, she has to be given 50% of the land, landed property, etc. And so that she can bring that that not as a dowry but as her inheritance. And dowry should be completely denounced and eradicated from the Indian society. Then only she will be an equal partner to the man. That's my concept of women empowerment.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And if you could choose one book as a mandatory read for high school students, in the book choose Panvinga, sir?
I would say for high school students, basically they are learning and building up. So I would rather give them fiction. Charles Dickens and those kinds of books will give them a lot of ideas about communication skills, etc. But Sapiens is one book which I've read recently, and I personally feel that everybody has to read that Mr. Harari's book, and listen to him also on YouTube. It's very illuminating how this world has evolved and where we have reached today and how lucky we are.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Ilaniyargalukku, for youngsters, one secret if you can tell out of your experience and out of your academical qualifications, what would it be?
No, nothing. See, there are many resources that we all have. It's water, food, air, but none of that is available equally to every human being. There is only one resource which is equally available to President Obama, you, me, President of India, the Prime Minister, the ordinary man on the street. That's that 24 hours. So that 24 hours, if we can effectively use and budget the time effectively, then you can become successful. Depending on how you define success, but you can become successful in whatever you are doing. Mandatory for this would be 7 hours of sleep, 2 hours of exercise. I think around 10 to 12 hours, and then having a work-life balance. And I would rather call it work-wife balance. Spending time with the family is very, very important. So we should be able to pack everything into that 24 hours, and we should be able to remain happy, contented at the end of the day. This is essentially the message I want to say. Don't chase money, chase excellence, chase world class.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. So related to that, sir, from your perspective, which one is better, sir? Certificates or experience? Or both?
I think both are important. Certificates are important because certificates are very important. Please ensure that the certificate is actual, genuine, etc. That's very important. 2 is experience. See, the kind of experience that I have undergone in the last 25 years is phenomenal, because I put my heart, lungs, liver, everything into it, whatever I do. So that kind of experience is very, very illuminating, and exposure is also very important. So certificates are important, experience is important. My exposure, for example, studying at LSE, studying at Harvard, studying at going to different countries, etc., expose you to the world class. What is happening in other parts of the world? Why my country is like this? Why can't it be like that? Those are the thought process that make you want to do much more for your country.
Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. Thank you so much. And so how did your journey towards Makkal Needhi Mayam started with? And the journey, every and the transformation, can you just explain a little bit about that, sir?
Actually, from 2012 onwards, I have been writing my own manifesto. Suppose I were to start a party. So I booked the domain called National Good Governance Party. That is in my name, nggp.org is in my name. Then I started writing a lot because, I was just like Nammavar, our Kamal sir is so angry with the corruption that's happening. The same was overtaking me also, because I was inside the government and I'm saying, oh my God, if this was not there, how my state would be. Those were the thoughts which frequently happen. And the level of leadership that is there in Tamil Nadu currently is pathetic. Many of them are not leaders; they are basically dealers. They are interested only in tenders and transfers. I call them T and T governments. Transfer and tender government. They never ask you agriculture, horticulture. They'll say tender transfer because money is involved. So I've always been intrigued, not intrigued, very, very angry with this kind of political system that we have kind of managed to evolve over the last 70 years. For example, that this politics should be like this. That's where I started wanting to do this since 2012. And then I wanted to come out in 2026. Definitely, I wanted to come into politics. But circumstances in 2020 made me actually come out. And when I looked around, there was only one leader who was talking against corruption openly, and that was Kamal sir. So obviously that was a natural choice. So there's nobody else in Tamil Nadu who is talking against corruption. Opena நேர்மைக்காக பேசக்கூடிய எந்த தலைவரும் தமிழ்நாட்டில் இப்போ இல்ல, தற்போது இல்ல, except Kamal sir. So that was a natural choice, and I'm very happy that I've joined it.
Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Sir, you qualified medicine, then you've done IAS. Which one do you think is like very much close to your heart?
Medicine is about saving lives, and there's nothing like that because when my batchmate was, we were in the forest when we were doing the village visit, and there's a huge rock that fell on him. I had to put 21 stitches on him using shoelace, etc. I remember that is in probation. I'm talking about 1995. I could save his life. I saved somebody's life inside the aircraft, who had a heart attack, etc. So that's always there. Saving lives is possibly the biggest thing that anybody can do, and doctors are endowed with that. I would always say that would be the biggest thing. But getting into the IAS and all gives you a wider canvas. So for example, if you're looking at health as a doctor, probably your clientele is slightly limited, whereas if you're an administrator and looking at public health, you can do so much more, especially making it so easy for doctors and the medical fraternity to do their work much better. So we can't compare and contrast, but obviously saving a life is more important to me than anything else.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And one last question from my side, sir. So if you could spend a day in someone else's shoes, or if you like to transform like into someone else, whom would it be?
I would like to go to the house of the poorest man in Tamil Nadu and try to understand how he spends his evenings and night, what are the issues that face him, how life could be better if you could serve him better. That's my thoughts.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I'm just dumbstruck with words. Enna solradhune theriyala. It's so nice to talk to you. Sir, we have all our friends across the globe who are joining us. So right now I'm just handing it over to Ravi Varman, who's from Denmark, and we'll start facilitating the show again.
Thank you, Linda, for those wonderful questions, and I'm happy that I answered it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Ravi, vanakkam, Ravi.
Yes, Linda.
Kekudunga, Ravi. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Linda. Hello, sir.
Hello, Ravi Varman. Vanakkam. Nalla irukingla?
Thank you, sir. Nalla irukken, sir. I'm really honored, sir, to be part of this discussion meeting. So I have a set of questions, sir, which I have compiled myself. Over 15-20 minutes, I'll try to compress them all as much as I can. We'll move on to the volunteers questions, the audience questions. So because நம்ம நிறைய உங்களுடைய அந்த IAS உங்களுடைய அந்த எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் அதை பத்திலாம் பேசிட்டு இருந்தோம். So I have a kind of a curious or controversial question. நிறைய தமிழ் சினிமாஸ்ல அந்த கலெக்டர் அப்படின்றது பயங்கர பவர்ஃபுல்லா மக்களுக்கு நல்லது பண்றக்கூடிய மூவிஸ் நிறைய வந்திருக்கு. பட் இன் ரியாலிட்டி அது எப்படி இருக்கு சார்? ஸோ நீங்க you have come into politics and you are not the first person who has come from civil services to politics. ரியாலிட்டி உண்மையில மக்களுக்கு நல்லது பண்ணணும்னா அது ஒரு கலெக்டர் அல்லது ஒரு IAS ஆஃபீஸர்னால பண்ண முடியுமா? What's your advice for people who aspire like that, sir?
100%, or I would say even 200%. பிகாஸ் சினிமாவில் காட்டுனது ரொம்ப ஷாலோவா தானே காட்டுறேன். இன்ஃபேக்ட் அதுக்கு விட ஒரு 100 times பெட்டரா கலெக்டர்ஸ் செய்யறாங்க. நிறைய கலெக்டர்ஸ் செஞ்சு காட்டியிருக்காங்க. எஸ்பெஷலி மை எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஹஸ் பீன், everybody knows that, whatever is, the Tamil Nadu, the collector and your post, I think உலகத்துல எங்கேயும் இல்ல. So in a sense, the IAS officer in Tamil Nadu, IAS officers, they all been district collectors. So if they are not used it effectively, I would only blame them, because எல்லாமே இருக்கு, infrastructure, funds, functions, functionaries, everything is at the beck and call of the district collector. It's extremely powerful. It all depends on how you want to use it. Do you want to use it to enhance your prestige, power, etc., or do you want it for others? So this is an essential question. So people get confused because இதுல நிறைய temptations வரதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு. எல்லாரும் நீங்க தான பெருசு சொல்லிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. So it's, if you're a young 25, 27-year-old district collector, it's very likely that this power will get into your head. So the first thing that I will tell any aspiring IAS officer is that don't get this into your head, because நம்மள டாக்டர் ஆகுது, என்ஜினியர் ஆகுது, கலெக்டர் ஆகுது, என்ன வாயிலும் you're not even spending 5% of the time for the self. 95 to 96% you wake up in the morning, put the best dress, you're doing it for somebody else. So we have to be aware of that. You have to think that, you have to be extremely aware that this post is being given so that you can take care of a 20 lakh population to 50 lakh population, whose lives, happiness, joy, sorrow, everything depends on the pen stroke. So that awareness is extremely important. அதுக்கப்புறம் என்னன்னு கேட்டா, you can innovate massively. நான் கிருஷ்ணகிரி பண்ணது பார்த்தா நீங்க எல்லாம் அசந்து போயிடும். For example, India's first rural BPO. And it's a simple thought I just wanted. And within a few days, I actualized it. And that brought the rural BPO movement to the country. For national level rural BPO policy, state level policy, எக்கச்சக்கமான புதிய innovations are possible. Nobody stops the IAS officer from innovating. If somebody says that politicians are stopping or the system is stopping, I'm sorry. நீங்க பூம்புகார் வந்து பாருங்க. பூம்புகார் is a punishment post. Nobody will say என்ன பூம்புகார்ல போடுங்கன்னு சொல்லி ஒரு சீஃப் செக்ரட்டரி கிட்ட கேட்க போறது இல்ல. நான் ஹார்வர்ட் எல்லாம் முடிச்சு வந்துட்டு, my thought was, I never asked for a posting. My thought was, in a Chennai corporation commissioner photo, I can make this Chennai the most beautiful city in the whole world in நினைச்சதானே வந்தது. But என்ன பூம்புகார்ல கொண்டு உட்கார வச்சாங்க. 4 years I was there. Pumbhar is a post where very good officers are posted, so that they are kept there for some time and then they are given other postings. And I was possibly the longest serving. அது ஒரு 30 வருஷத்துல 42 கோடி turnover. நான் 32 வருஷத்துல நான் 70 கோடி கொண்டு வரேன் turnover. And I embellish all the airports in South India. All the interiors of South Indian airports are done by, we create India's first virtual reality showroom. We create all kinds of paperless office, 24 locations, 40 days more decision making brought to 40 minutes. So anything is possible. That's the power of the IAS. That's why I'm telling that possibly many other IAS officers are not realizing this potential. And I always talk about potential. What is your potential? So when you get into the IAS, the potential is even beyond sky. It goes to the space also. So that's the level of, so whatever they're showing in movies is dramatic. It's not so dramatic. It's a lot of thought process that goes in. There's a lot of, team building that has to happen, because they have stakeholders from the politicians to the panchayat presidents to your officers to your staff to the people, the NGOs, everybody. If you can bring teams around you and think tanks around you, it's so extremely easy. I was there in Indian medicine for exactly 6 months before I went to Harvard. We did 33 innovations, and for the first time in the history of the department, I made the CM give 55 crores to the department, and you can see all the changes that day. I did not do anything. I brought Ayush think tanks, Ayurveda think tank, Homeo think tank, Yoga think tank, all 5 think tanks in one room for 2 days. Food, breakfast, everything provided, and the sitting fees, etc. They came out with beautiful ideas. I presented it, and we got 55 crores. So the possibility of involving in teamwork and you providing the leadership is massive in the IAS. It's not a one-man job. It's a teamwork.
சார் தேங்க்யூ சார் தேங்க்யூ. ரொம்ப நம்ம சினிமாவில் பார்க்கறது உண்மை இல்லை அப்படிங்கிறது நமக்கெல்லாம் தெரியும். பட் அஃப்கோர்ஸ் உங்களை மாதிரி எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் இருக்க ஆள்கிட்ட கேட்கும் பொழுது வந்துட்டு நமக்கு புரியுது அது எவ்வளோ பவர்ஃபுல் அப்படின்றது. ரொம்ப நன்றி சார். ஐ ஹாவ் அ கப்புள் ஆஃப் கொஸ்டின்ஸ். நம்மளுடைய இந்த பொதுக்குழு முடிந்தது இல்லையா சார், அதை பற்றிய டெசிஷன்ஸ் பற்றிய ஒரு 2 கேள்வி இருக்கு. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் திங், கமல்ஹாசன் அவர்கள் மக்கள் நீதி மையத்தின் நிரந்தர தலைவர் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு டெசிஷன் வந்து ஒண்ணு எடுத்திருந்தோம் இல்லைங்களா சார்? சோ அது ஹவு டஸ் தட் ஒர்க் சார்? அது வந்து ஒரு மாதிரி ஜனநாயகம் இல்லாத ஒரு அன்ஹெல்தியான ஒரு விஷயமாக மாறிடாதா? ஹவு கேன் வி ஜஸ்டிஃபை தட் சார்?
That's just basically to give confidence to cadre that I'm there for you as a leader. You can always revert back to me. Other, even though that's said in so many words, I think in his heart of hearts, he's possibly the most democratic person I've seen. Almost every other day, Sandikradhu undu. Enoda ideas too long. He is an extremely good listener, very democratic. He'll ask everybody in a Selam. And finally, the decision is always tempered by what advice we have given. So, அவங்கள ஒரு undemocratic person சொல்லவே முடியாது. கண்டிப்பா he is one of the most democratic and friendly persons I have seen. He's leadership personified because என்ன பொறுத்தவரைக்கும் leadership in L stands for being a good listener. So if you speak to him for 15 minutes, he'll listen completely. And he's empathetic, he's ethical, he gives direction. He keeps on doing things which is very inspiring. So that was meant to give stability to the party, and because it's a very fledgling party, and to say that I'm there with you throughout. That's all. I mean, he's not being undemocratic, at least to me. That's what I feel.
Okay, sir. So அது வந்து ஒரு ஜனநாயக முறையில நம்ம we made him a permanent leader அப்படின்ற.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Everybody is right.
Okay. Sir, so இன்னும் அடுத்த கேள்வி regarding the பொதுக்குழு சார், பொதுக்குழு கூட்டம். நம்ம பாத்தீங்கன்னா மீடியால நிறைய வந்து இந்த பேனர்ஸ், மக்கள் நீதி மையம் பேனர் கலாச்சாரத்துக்கு எதிராக பேசுது. ஆனா மக்கள் நீதி மையமே வந்து ரோடு முழுக்க வந்து பேனர் வச்சுதான் வந்து உங்க பொதுக்குழு நடத்தினாங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு அக்யூசேஷன் வந்தது சார். அது நம்ம எப்படி நம்ம கவனம் குறைவாக வந்து அதை அனுமதிச்சிட்டோமா, அல்லது வந்து வாட் வென்ட் ராங் சார் இந்த விஷயத்த?
No, I agree with that. நிறைய trolls வந்தாச்சு. I also when I meet sir, I would be definitely telling him, because அந்த ஒரு குழந்தை young girl who fell, the banner விழுந்து she died. அதெல்லாம் இப்படி நம்மளோட மனசுல ரொம்ப ஒரு அதங்கமா தானே இருக்கு. And அந்த டைம்ல சார் சொன்னாங்க நம்மள இந்த கலாச்சாரம் இருக்காது. Unfortunately, this happened because cadre becomes over enthusiastic, or possibly என்னோட சைடு இன்னும் டைரக்ஷன் இன்னும் போகல. அதனால இருக்கும். Definitely இனிமே அது நடக்காதுன்னு நான் I feel, because the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So நம்ம அது சொல்லியதுக்கு அப்புறம் அது செஞ்சது தவறு நாம் ஃபீல் பண்றோம். We will definitely make amends.
Okay sir, thank you sir. அது நம்ம நீங்க it was really great that ஓபனாக ஆமாம் இதை நாங்க திருத்திக்கோன்னு சொல்லும்போது ஒரு ஜஸ்டிஃபிகேஷன் கொடுக்கறதோட I think it sounds better sir. Thank you for that. சார், so இப்போ வந்து we are இந்த மேனிஃபெஸ்டோ தேர்தல் அறிக்கை அதற்கான ஒரு வேலைகள் போயிட்டு இருக்கு. நீங்க வந்து சமீபத்துல வந்து ஒரு ரெக்வெஸ்ட் வச்சிருந்தீங்க. யார் வந்து அறிக்கைக்கு வந்து ஐடியாக்கள் சமர்ப்பிக்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொன்னா நீங்க வந்து நேரடியாக எனக்கு இமெயில் அனுப்பலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்லியிருந்தீங்க. அதுக்கு எப்படி சார் ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் இருந்தது? நம்ம நீங்க எதிர்பார்த்த மாதிரி இருந்ததா?
எதிர்பார்த்த விட massive ரெஸ்பான்ஸ். கிட்டத்தட்ட 2000 மெயில் வந்துச்சு. இன்ஃபேக்ட் we have taken every mail because ஒவ்வொரு மெயிலும் பல ஹெட்டிங்ஸ்ல இருக்கும். ஸோ இந்த தலைப்புகள் எல்லாம் ஜாயின் பண்ணி whatever is possible, practically possible எனக்கு தெரியும், because I was in government. நம்ம அந்த சஜஷன்ஸ் எல்லாம் நிறைய எடுத்திருக்கோம். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ட்விட்டர்ல வந்திருக்கேன், லிங்க்டின்ல வந்திருக்கேன். இது தவிர டெய்லி எனக்கு ஃபோன் கால் வருது. ஐ வாண்ட் டு மீட் வித் யூ அண்ட் கிவ் சோ மெனி ஐடியாஸ். கடைசியில் பார்த்தா ஐடியாஸ்ல ஒன்றும் பெருசா இருக்காது. பிகாஸ் சி ஆர்டினரி பீப்புள் ஆர் திங்கிங் ஃப்ரம் தேர் லெவல், தேர் தாட் ப்ராசஸஸ், தேர் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ். நமக்கு வேண்டியது ஹையர் லெவல் ஆஃப் தாட் ப்ராசஸ் அண்ட் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ். பட் இவங்க அனுப்புனதுக்கு காரணம் என்ன? அவங்களுடைய ஆதங்கம், அவங்களுடைய ஆஸ்பிரேஷன். So it's incumbent on me to reply. So ஒவ்வொரு மெயிலுக்கு நாங்க ரிப்ளை கொடுத்துருக்கோம். நாங்க உங்க மெயில் எடுத்திருக்கோம், நாங்க அக்னாலேஜ் பண்ணி நன்றின்னு சொல்லி தானே நம்ம எடுத்து நிறைய சில பாயிண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் நாங்க உள்ள கொண்டு வந்திருக்கோம். இப்போ கிட்டத்தட்ட on 21st we want to release 21 sectors ரிலீஸ் பண்ண போறேன் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபேஸ் ஆக. அதுல நிறைய பாயிண்ட்ஸ் நம்ம ஆட் பண்ணிருக்கோம். சில எல்லாம் அன்பிராக்டிகபிளா இருக்கு. பட் வாட் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் தட் வேண்டுகோள், கிரவுட் சோர்சிங் ஆஃப் ஐடியாஸ், what has happened is we have involved people in this process of manifesto making, which has never happened in the history of Tamil Nadu at least. I'm happy that our people from far and wide, America, US, Kiribati, நிறைய places in the message வந்தாச்சு. So மக்கள் நீதி மையத்தினுடைய ஒரு democratic approach அதுல வெளிப்படுத்தப்பட்டது. So I'm extremely happy.
நிச்சயமா சார். So 2000 மெயில்ஸ் இட்ஸ் ரொம்ப ஆச்சரியமா இருக்கு. அத்தனை மெயில்ஸ் வந்தது, அது நீங்க ரெஸ்பாண்ட் பண்ணது எல்லாமே வந்து ஆச்சரியமா இருக்கு. ஐ வாஸ் நிச்சயமாக வந்து ஐ திங்க் வி மேட் அ சிக்னேச்சர் தேர். நம்ம
Yeah,
புதுசா என்ன பண்ண முடியும் அப்படின்னு.
yeah,
ஸோ ரிலேட்டட் டு மேனிஃபெஸ்டோ சார், எப்பயுமே தமிழ்நாடு அரசியல் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா இட் இஸ் இது வரைக்கும் இட் யூஸ்வலி ஹாஸ் ரிவால்வ் அரவுண்ட் இந்த சமூக நீதி, ரிசர்வேஷன்ஸ் அப்படின்றது வந்து எப்பயுமே ஒரு சென்டர் ஸ்டேஜ்ல இருக்கும் சார். சோஃபார் மக்கள் நீதி மையம் அப்படின்றது வந்து இந்த டாபிக்ல நம்ம இது வரைக்கும் பொருளாதாரம், குட் கவர்னன்ஸ், அந்த சுற்றுச்சூழல், அந்த மாதிரியான விஷயங்களுக்கு நம்ம சொல்லிட்டே வந்தோம். நம்மளுடைய முழு தேர்தல் அறிக்கை வரும்பொழுது அதுல வந்து நம்ம சமூக நீதிக்கான ஒரு ஒரு டெடிகேட்டடான ஒரு லிஸ்ட் நம்ம எதிர்பார்க்க முடியுமா சார்?
see கண்டிப்பா see last 50 years தமிழ்நாடுல சமூக நீதி மேல தானே நம்ம ஒரே ஸ்ட்ராங்கா நம்பி முன்னோட்டு போயிட்டு இருக்கேன். So that's obviously has been the stepping stone to success. Tamil Nadu has been a frontline state in India because of the social cohesion and this progressiveness that was instilled because of Periyar and others. So அது கண்டிப்பாக மறக்க முடியாது. ஸோ அந்த ஒரு ஸ்டெப்பிங் ஸ்டோன் மேல இருந்து தானே நம்ம இந்த மேனிஃபெஸ்டோ தயார் பண்றோம். பிகாஸ் தட் கோஸ் வித்வுட் சேயிங் நான் சொல்லுவேன். அது ஓவர் எம்பசைஸ் பண்ண தேவையில்லை. we as a party accept that as our stepping stone. அது ஸ்டெப் தாண்டி போயாச்சு. தாண்டி இனிமே திங்க் பண்ண வேண்டியது ஃபியூச்சரிஸ்டிக்கா திங்க் பண்ணும். தமிழ்நாடு இப்போ பாவர்ட்டி லெவல்லாம் ரொம்ப கம்மியாச்சு. பீப்புள் begging on the streets is not to be seen at all. You find a lot of our people are migrating out of other countries, etc. So ஒரு up market society ன்னு சொல்லலாம் வந்துட்டு இருக்கேன். The urbanization is happening. So we have to think for the future for our people, how we can improve our social infrastructure in our villages. நம்மளோட வில்லேஜ்ல இருக்கக்கூடிய, இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் யூ ஆர் இன் பிரசல்ஸ்ல டீப்பா போகக்கூடிய வில்லேஜ்ல இருக்கக்கூடிய people also enjoy the same lifestyle as people in Brussels, or even better. They have better air, better quality of life, etc. So how do we have world-class quality of life even in our villages? That's what I mean by social infrastructure. சும்மா ஒரு ஸ்கூலோ ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் வைக்கணும் விட, is that school and hospital world class? அந்த மாதிரி திங்க் பண்ண வைக்கணும். That is at political level, policy level, and at administrative levels. People have to think that this is ordinary, and we can't think ordinary. We have to think world class. It's not about cost. It's about the thought process. So அந்த மாதிரி thought process கொண்டு வந்தா தானே future முன்னுக்கு வரும். That's why we are saying give a computer to every home with connectivity, because that will be a window to the world. உலகத்துல என்ன நடக்குது டெலிவிஷன்ல நம்ம பார்க்கிறோம், பட் டெலிவிஷன்ல பெரும்பாலும் டைம் people are spending time on serials and watching routine news items. Watch what is happening in the best people in the West and other parts of the world. How do you compare to them? നമ്മുടെ യൂത്ത് എല്ലാം aspirational ആയിട്ട്. We have to feed into that aspiration. Skill development, social infrastructure, capital formation. In the areas எல்லாம் நம்ம huge. For example, emerging technologies. இப்போ கோடிங் எல்லாம் அந்த காலத்துல ரெகுலர் கோடிங் அதெல்லாம் போச்சு. Now coding is cut and paste. How do we move to the next level using emerging technologies like blockchain, artificial intelligence, machine learning, internet of things, cloud? இந்த மாதிரி ஐட்டம்ஸ் கொண்டு வந்து வாழ்க்கை தரம் எப்படி இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ண முடியும்? And when we talk about this, people say, oh, you're talking always technology. Well, what I say is that only technology has improved lives, nothing else. The electric bulb is technology, the fridge is technology, your washing machine is technology, your mixie is technology, your vacuum cleaner is technology. Nothing else has improved life as much as technology has done. நம்ம எவ்வளோ நம்ம கனவு பார்க்கலாம், பட் இந்த டெக்னாலஜி எலக்ட்ரிசிட்டி எல்லாம் இல்லைன்னு வச்சுக்கோ, இன்டர்நெட் இல்லைன்னு வச்சுக்கோ, we will not be where we are. So we have to become a knowledge society. Namma boys and girls, I told Linda, have the same potential, but they don't have the same circumstance. But if you can give them a great world-class circumstance, and giving an internet with a computer to him or her would be like giving the world to him. And if they can take advantage of that, we can do a quantum jump in the next 5 years. This is what my thought process is.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So இன்னொரு கேள்வி ரிலேட்டட் டு இந்த மேனிஃபெஸ்டோ ஆர் நம்மளுடைய ஒரு நிலைப்பாடு, அரசியல் நிலைப்பாடு குறிச்சு. சின்ஸ் 2014 எப்படி வந்து அப்சல்யூட் மெஜாரிட்டியோட வந்து பிஜேபி ஃபார்ம் த கவர்மெண்ட், அப்போலேருந்தே வந்து தெர் ஹாஸ் பீன் கான்ஃபிளிக்ஸ் பிட்வீன் ஸ்டேட்ஸ் அண்ட் த சென்டர். நம்மளுடைய அந்த ரைட்ஸ், ஸ்டேட்டுடைய உரிமைகள் பறிக்கப்படுது அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. அண்ட் ஒன் திங் விச் ஹாஸ் ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய பிரச்சனையாக இருக்கிறது பாத்தீங்கன்னா நீட் எக்ஸாம். ஸோ சம்திங் லைக் நவ் state is not able to do much about much for its own aspiring doctors and so on. நம்ம மக்கள் நீதி சில பார்ட்டிஸ் வந்து they say நாங்க ஆட்சிக்கு வந்தா வந்து நாங்க நீட்டை வந்து ரத்து செஞ்சிருவோம் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி கூட வந்து சொல்றாங்க. அது வந்து நம்ம மக்கள் நீதி மையம் என்ன சார் பண்ண முடியும்? Is this something that we have a plan for நீட் விஷயத்துல?
There is on NEET, there is short term and long term. Short term give the best facilities for students to prepare for that NEET examination. So, for example, if you see the syllabus, they say 97% comes from the +2 syllabus of the state board. So, அப்படி இருக்கும்போது அவங்களே அதை எப்படி ஹேண்டில் பண்ணணும், அது ஷார்ட் டேர்மா அவங்களே டீச் பண்ணி let's say 2 months 3 months வேர்ல்ட் கிளாஸ் கோச்சிங் கொடுத்து இப்போ ஜூம் வழியாக எல்லாம் கோச்சிங் கொடுக்கலாம், அந்த மாதிரி செய்யலாம். பட் லாங் டேர்ம் would be, according to me, to bring their standards higher to CBSE or to ICSE or even IB, International Baccalaureate. See, I keep saying this because I have seen these students, 10,000 out of school children, their potential is as good as yours or mine. Circumstance. So to assume that our children will perform badly if we give them, English education or, IB or ICSE, it's a specious argument. Now, what we sow at a very early age, he will reap at a later stage. There's a scene in the examples of orphans being picked up by Swedish couples from Tamil Nadu. Swedish couples when they come back after 20 years, they become world-class citizens, searching for their mother, father, etc. That's because they were given a world-class education by the Swedish couple. Why not give it in Tamil Nadu itself? So, in the one of the good things one of the ashrams in India is doing is, and the Pashangal poor students. And I've seen this. They give 3 important things. One is they teach English at a very young age. Second is they teach mathematics. And 3 is they teach computers. In the moonum, they'll become world-class citizens. They'll go on to MIT and all the best universities in the world. It's not that they have a genetic issue. Their DNA is as good as yours or mine, or in the US, especially in Tamil Nadu. We need to feed the DNA with world-class. So that's what we should be thinking about. So in our manifesto for school education and college education, we are bringing elements of these thought processes to make education world class. How do we do that over a period? Because they get 1,195 out of 2,000 marks. But if you ask them a question in a different way, they are not able to answer. What is it that we are teaching our boys and girls? They are the most creative boys and girls I have seen anywhere in the world. Because with there's an NGO called India, NGO called Balaji Sampath. He runs an NGO, and he was in Krishnagiri for almost 1 year. He worked with us. It's called Aid India, and we did experiments. Bernoulli's principle and all kinds of principles. And the boys and girls are saying, "Hey, unge enna collect unme theriyile," and they were revealing that, and we are all laughing about it because the confidence that these boys and girls have is amazing. But are we feeding them with that? We're just asking them to say, okay, a chance, if you use the word chance, you'll get full marks. If you use the word opportunity, you will not get any marks. What is this that we are talking about? I think we are climbing up the wrong tree. We need to change the system. We need to give our aspiring youngsters world class. Hello.
Yeah. Sorry, sir. So yeah, அப்படின்னா நீங்க முன்வைக்கிற அந்த சொல்யூஷன், இட்ஸ் நாட் அபவுட் ரிப்பீலிங் நீட், பட் இட்ஸ் அபவுட் நம்ம மாணவர்கள் நீட் இருந்தாலும் நம்மளால வந்து பண்ண முடியும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு லெவலுக்கு உயர்த்தணும்னு சொல்றீங்களா சார்?
அப்படித்தானே நம்ம லாங் டேர்மா திங்க் பண்ணணும். ஷார்ட் டேர்மா அவங்களை எப்படி பாஸ் பண்ண வைக்கணும்? பிகாஸ் the government of India has everybody has approved this and given a choice. நமக்கு ஸ்டேட் லெவல்ல if you are given a choice to run our own system, then it would be a different approach. But need being a reality, as long as it's a reality, we need to take this short term and long term approaches. If government of India says, okay, Tamil Nadu government, you do your own approach, we'll do it entirely so that our boys and girls succeed.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. So just one last question, sir, but this is about நீங்க அந்த வாலண்டியர் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு ஆப் ரீசென்ட்லி வந்து யூ ஹேவ் டிசைன்ட் இட் இல்லையா? ஸோ உங்களுக்கு அந்த இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட், ஒரு ஆப் டெவலப் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ற அந்த இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட், அந்த தாட் எப்படி வந்தது? அண்ட் டெல் அஸ் லிட்டில் பிட் மோர் அபவுட் இட் சார். எப்படி, வாட்ஸ் த ரெஸ்பான்ஸ் டு இட்?
Actually, மூணு ஆப் நான் டெவலப் பண்ணுவேன். 2015 சென்னை ஃபிளட்ஸ்ல தான் இந்த ஆப் நான் டெவலப் பண்ணியது முதல்ல. Then it went into limbo. So whenever I have a brilliant idea, I immediately call up some friends who has technology and say, "Can you do this for me?" And obviously, it's an investment, it's a cost for them, resources they have to put, etc. So 2015 floods, I found these NGOs and volunteers were running up and down. You know, the NGOs and volunteers, volunteers especially, their lifetime is only maybe a few hours to a few days. After that, enthusiasm comes down. If you are able to capture that enthusiasm, you can do massive work. So if I were a commissioner of Chennai Corporation, what I would have divided Chennai into hundreds grids, and I would have put government and NGO, government and NGO, government and volunteer, and it would have been a win-win kind of situation for everybody. Unfortunately, their energies were not captured. So that's the time I realized that, how do we know which NGO, which volunteer has which skill? So that's how I came about this thought. Immediately I called up I think around 12:30 in the night, I called up my friend and asked him whether he can do it. Because I wanted an area filter and a skill filter. So that when you organize a program and you want a particular skill in a particular area, then you can send that as an in-app notification to those people, and then you become a team and do it. It can be seen on the map itself. So if you see, right now we are not open it internationally. There are some restrictions on the map, but we'd like to do that. It's a kind of social media. It's interesting. It can be used for many things, including for employment, employability, skill development, skill chasing skills, trying to find out which skills matter for you, etc. It's an important app. Not many people have kind of downloaded it, because I have put one sentence there that when you create a program, an email will go to the nearest police station. The whole idea was, some antisocial elements should not join together and try to bust a bank or something, and then I would be in trouble. So I had put that. So possibly that is preventing people from downloading it. I have around very less number of downloads. I have not done the marketing as of now, but people are getting interested. Lots of calls coming from NGOs, etc.
Yeah. So I had requested Linda on the link Android download பண்றதுக்கான லிங்க் வந்து நான் ஷேர் பண்ண சொல்லிருந்தேன். Hope she has
Android and iOS both availability. Okay. There's a second app I have developed. This is basically for minutes of meeting, and third is something I call Design Your Day, because I believe that there are only 24 hours for us. So how do you design your day? There's an app currently under development. So 3 apps.
Okay, sir. Super, sir. Yeah, that pretty much sums up my questions. So I think I'll hand it over to Linda to ask the audience questions for you, sir.
Thank you so much, Raghu. Very interesting questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ravi. So we have all our friends here. I'll start with Badri. Badri, can you unmute yourself?
Yes. Are you able to hear me, sir?
Badri, how are you?
Fine, sir. எப்படி இருக்கீங்க சார்?
நல்லா இருக்கு. நீங்க உங்க மெயில்ஸ் எல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கேன்.
Oh, thanks, sir. Thank you, sir. So, question என்னன்னா, so we have come up with amazing schemes, like out of the box schemes like இல்லத்தரசிகளுக்கு ஊதியம் and ஒரு வீட்டுக்கும் கணினி அப்படிங்கிறது. அந்த மாதிரி ஸ்கீம்ஸ்க்கெல்லாம் how is M&M planning to generate revenue, sir? Because these are all our major spending schemes. But some sort of ஒரு base level thinking you would have started, sir, in terms of where you're going to find the money. அதை பத்தி நீங்க சொன்னீங்கன்னா it will be very helpful, sir.
So there's no magic box. There's only income and there's only expenditure. So there are only two things. It's a two-person zero-sum game. So when one expenditure goes up, something has to come down. So that's basic mathematics. But if we were to step to power, then obviously we'll deeply look into this, because this commitment from our leader, and he has been saying this, and we totally believe that this is very much possible. So I will take the example of DMK when they announced Color TV. They spent around 4,000 crores for this. I was a person who was doing the work, distribution and purchasing and everything. I only did. So, but at that point of time, I was feeling, oh my God, what a loss. We could have invested on education, health, etc. But they found the money for it. It's not as if money is not available. It's actually trying to optimize your spending and your expenditure. And I'm sure, this is something on which we strongly believe in, because it's not so much about the money as much as it's about recognizing the household work. This is unrecognized throughout the world. And we would want to be the first in the world to say that we do recognize. It can be nominal amount also, but we recognize that. Second is, even if it's, let's say, 1,000 rupees per month that we want to give, or 5,000 rupees, there's a cost involved. So obviously then you have to prioritize, and that's the brass tacks. But in a 1,50,000 crore budget, I'm sure 5,000 to 10,000 crores can be earmarked for this. And a lot of leakages happen in a lot of other budgets, and a lot of unutilized funds remain. For example, when I was a district collector, I found that I want to do many innovative things, and I asked for funds from the BDOs and all. They 10-20-year-old IRDP schemes and all, small amounts were there. I was able to raise around 10-12 crores overnight. So it's not as if funds are not there. The intent is very clear. The funds will come, or we'll raise the funds. This is a commitment of the party. And again, at the same time, for the BharatNet, there's 2,000 crores available. So connecting the households is not an issue. That money is from the government of India. Then giving the computers, it's already we have given around 50 lakh laptops to households. So if you have around, let's say, 1.82 lakh households in Tamil Nadu, or let's say 2 crore households, not 1.82 lakhs, 2 crores households, out of which we have given to 50 lakh families laptops itself. So that remains around 1.5 crores only. So it can be over a period of time, it can be given. And the idea would be to find out who already has. So that exercise also we need to do, because prioritizing is extremely critical, because each paisa matters. And we'll also have to see how wastage is happening, where we can actually, optimize on costs in unnecessary, functions and stuff like that. A lot of wastage that happens in government. We could control all that, and funds will be available. We'll find the money.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patri. Thank you. Next is Arun.
Yes, Linda.
Hello.
Welcome, sir. Hello, Linda. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. Welcome, sir. நம்ம முன்னாடி ஒரு தடவை மீட் பண்ணிருக்கோம் சார். ஒரு ஐடி ஈவென்ட்காக லண்டன்ல ரொம்ப பெரிய டிஸ்கஷன் நடந்துச்சு. ஒரு டின்னர்ல மீட் பண்ணோம். அதனால தான் ஜஸ்ட் அடையாளத்துக்கு அந்த போட்டோ போட்டிருந்தேன். நிறைய டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிட்டேன் சார். உங்களுடைய டாக்டர் டு ஐஏஎஸ் டு எஜுகேஷன்லாம் முன்னாடி நான் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். இருந்தாலும் எம்என்எம் ரிலேட்டடா ஒரே ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு ஆதங்கமான ஒரு கொஸ்டின் இருக்கு சார். சிறந்த கலெக்டர் அப்படின்னு, பெஸ்ட் கலெக்டர் அப்படின்னு நம்ம வந்து சூஸ் பண்ணணும்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஜஸ்ட் கவுண்ட் பண்ணலாம் தமிழ்நாட்டில் இல்லை எங்கேயுமே. மோஸ்ட் ஆஃப் த கலெக்டர்ஸ் ஆக்சுவலாக அவங்க பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நாட் எதர் டூ குட், இல்லை அவங்க வந்து ஒரு பொலிட்டிக்கல் ப்ரெஷருக்கு அடங்கி போயிடுறாங்க, இல்லை அவருக்கு வந்து டிரான்ஸ்ஃபர், இல்லை நீங்கள் சொன்ன மாதிரி அந்த டிஎன்டி வந்து ரீசனாக இருக்கலாம், இல்லை இந்த அரசாங்கமும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நிறைய கலெக்டர் வந்து ரெகக்னைஸ் பண்ணுற மாதிரி தெரியல. நல்லா இந்த கலெக்டருக்கு வந்து பெரிய பெரிய ரிட்டர்ன் நல்லா அவார்ட்ஸ் கொடுத்து அவங்க ரெகக்னைஸ் பண்ண மாதிரியும் ஒரு தெரியல. ஸோ இப்போ இந்த நம்ம எம்என்எம் வந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சிறந்த ஐஏஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர் சுடுகாட்டில் போய் உட்காந்து தான் ப்ரூவ் பண்ணணும்னு இல்லை, நிறைய பேர் பண்ணியிருக்கிறாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு நல்ல ஐஏஎஸ் ஆஃபீஸர்களுக்கு வந்து அவங்க ரெகக்னைஸ் பண்ணுற மாதிரி ஏதாவது நம்ம வந்து ஒரு அந்த அரசு அலுவலர்களை மதித்து இது பண்ணுற மாதிரி ஒரு நம்ம பிளான் பண்ணியிருக்கோமா சார்? அந்த வியூல பார்த்து.
Yeah, Arun, more than recognizing, I think corruption starts with IAS officers. IAS corrupt ஆகலன்னு சொல்லியா ministers corrupt ஆக முடியாது, system corrupt ஆக முடியாது. So more than recognition, I would say that it's incumbent on each IAS officer who has taken oath on the on the country to ensure that he or she remains clean. One, not only clean, he or she is a beacon of hope for the people, and he or she can innovate in the governance process. In the Moona, in the transformational process, integrity, innovation, technology, I keep saying IIT of transformational leadership. Otherwise, what we'll have is incremental leaders. Integrity ilanjulia, innovation ilanjulia, technology ilanjulia, we'll have only clerks. And we don't want IAS officers who are clerks. We want people with great integrity. Having said that, there's a lot of corruption happening because it's very easy. It's a very costly relationship. And essentially, the world is at my feet. There's no problem with that. And the temptation, one is a moral leadership at the top, at the chief minister's level. He should remain clean. Then the system will remain clean. The whole system remains clean. The chief minister remains honest or dishonest also. Nothing is going to. If the chief minister remains clean, then the whole system remains clean. We had Kamaraj. We had people like that who were an inspiration for the whole bureaucracy. So Tamil Nadu bureaucracy has done amazing work in the last so many years. All committed bureaucrats இருந்த ஒரு மாநிலம். பட் இப்போ அது நான் என்னால சொல்ல முடியாது. எல்லாரும் ஒரு காம்ப்ரமைஸ் ஆகிறதுக்குள்ள சான்சஸ் ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு. அதுக்கு ஓவர் சைட் மெக்கானிசம்ஸ் போரா இருக்கு. சீனியர் ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ் ஜூனியர் ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ் பார்க்கணும்னு சொல்லி சீனியர் ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ் கிளீனா இருந்தா தானே ஜூனியர் ஆஃபீஸர்ஸ் கிளீனா இருங்கன்னு சொல்ல முடியும். அவங்களும் சரியில்லை இவங்களும் சரியில்லாம இருக்குமா என்ன எப்படி? ஸோ மக்கள் நீதி மையம் வந்தால் கண்டிப்பாக நம்ம இந்த சிஸ்டத்தினை கிளீன் பண்ணிடும், அதுல சந்தேகமே கிடையாது.
ரொம்ப நன்றி சார். கொரோனா முடிஞ்சு அடுத்த தடவை ஒரே ஒரு டெஃபினட்டா மீட் பண்ணுவோம்.
ரொம்ப நன்றிங்க. To meet you again, Arun. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arun. So next question we have from François from France and his team, Mr. Chitti Kanaya. They want to know if we have speakers to help candidates in all over the state. நம்மளோட programs பத்தி பேசுறதுக்கும் விழிப்புணர்வுக்கு நம்ம ஸ்பீக்கர்ஸ் இருக்காங்களா அப்படின்னு.
ஸோ நமக்கு சிறப்பு பேச்சாளர்கள் இருக்கே 47 பேரை நம்ம ட்ரெயின் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். இவங்கெல்லாம் சிறந்த பேச்சாளர்கள், அமேசிங் ஸ்பீக்கர்ஸ். ஓ மை காட், அவங்க விட்டா போதும், ரொம்ப அழகா பேசுவாங்க. 47 பேர் தானே இருக்கேன். பட் பிற கட்சிகள் எல்லாம் நிறைய பைசையெல்லாம் கொடுக்குறாங்க, நம்மகிட்ட எவ்வளவு பணம் கொடுக்கறதுக்கு இல்ல. இருந்தாலும் 47 பேர் அவங்கள உயிர் கொடுத்து பேசுறாங்க. ஸோ தட்ஸ் அ பிக் திங். 47 கொஞ்சம் கம்மியா இருக்கேன், இன்னும் இருந்தா நல்லா இருக்கும். இஃப் யூ கேன் ஐடென்டிஃபை குட் பீப்புள் அண்ட் டெல் அஸ், நம்ம அவங்களை இந்த பேச்சாளர் லிஸ்ட்ல சேர்க்க முடியும். இந்த இப்போ உள்ள முயற்சி என்னன்னு கேட்டால், நம்மளுடைய மேனிஃபெஸ்டோ கொஞ்சம் டெக்னிக்கலா இருக்கேன். ஸோ இந்த மேனிஃபெஸ்டோ டெக்னிக்கல் எல்லாமே சாதாரண மக்களுக்கு புரியக்கூடிய வண்ணம் நம்ம அவங்களுக்கு அதை சொல்லி கொடுத்தா அந்த ஒரு பயிற்சியும் நம்ம கொடுக்க போறோம். ஸோ பேச்சாளர்கள் இருந்தால் கண்டிப்பாக சொல்லுங்க. பட் we do have 47 speakers right now.
Thank you sir. அடுத்ததாக பன்னீர் செல்வம் சார். பன்னீர் செல்வம். Thank you.
Yes. Hello sir.
வணக்கம் பன்னீர் செல்வம் சார்.
வணக்கம் சார், ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கேன். நீங்க சொன்னீங்க 2000 மெயிலுக்கு மேல வந்திருந்ததுன்னு. ஒன் ஆஃப் தட் இஸ் ஃப்ரம் மை. நான் வந்து
Did you get a reply?
Yeah, I got a very good reply with the reply வந்து எனக்கு நீங்க ரொம்ப தெளிவா அதை படிச்சிருக்கீங்கிறது முதல் கொண்டு எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சது. அது I was even sharing with this group earlier.
Okay.
It is about land digitalization of the land and அது வந்து இங்க இருக்கு, டென்மார்க்ல இருக்கு. நான் இப்ப டென்மார்க்ல இருக்கேன். I can hold my land in my account. Just
that's exactly what I think. So நாங்க blockchainல இது பண்ணனும்னு நினைக்கிறோம். For example, since you are saying this, MNM will become a completely digital party by 21st. நான் postings online ஆக்கியாச்சு. Tomorrow onwards the file movement becomes online. There's an app before I came, this called Mayam Connect. Then there's a Vizil app. இதெல்லாம் சேர்த்து we are going to be the first digital party in the country. இதுல நாங்க இந்த விருப்ப மனு தாக்கல், that is people who want to become MLA candidates, அதுக்கு ஃபார்ம் போட்டிருக்கேன். அது பிளாக் செயின்ல டெவலப் பண்ணிருக்கேன். அந்த பிளாக் செயின் இன்ஃப்ராஸ்ட்ரக்சர்ல நம்ம டெவலப் பண்ணிருக்கோம். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், உங்களோட ஐடி கார்டு will be generated in blockchain so that nobody can kind of fake it. So thanks for telling me that. Digitalization lands, I remember your mail because Tamil Nadu is one of the best digitalization of land records that happened in 2000, I think 2003-4 onwards. But adukku mele improvement nadandirukilla. That's the biggest problem what I found.
Yes.
And I was trying to do that, because neenga your land vaangiya odane and the land record details should go to the taluk office, make the changes in the village register. Idella automatically seiyakudiyadu. But because we are in different government silos, idu commercial taxes idu pandranga, registration department, revenue department in the land records idu pandranga. So there's a lot of siloship in the government of Tamil Nadu. Every other enna porthoraikkum, we should become something like in Estonia. You should be able to buy and sell land in 3 minutes. We should be able to buy and sell vehicles in 2 or 3 minutes, because it all depends on your address, that I'm selling it to the right person, and the person who is buying should know that I'm the real person who is selling it. So in the trust mechanism we can do through blockchain. I think we had it. But you did not ask me the question. I jumped your question. Sorry.
No. This is just an information, and this is also give you a lot of revenue. That's what I'm seeing. Like for me, transferring a land is very difficult. So most of the people are not involving in that. So when we make it as a digitalized, you will get more transaction and you get more revenue.
But digitalized, but we are not moved to the next level. That is, can you sell your land to me? That's the question. And should be able to do it without even going to the registration office. Why should I go to the registration office? So
this is what
Linda was telling about the Prime Minister's office calling me to join the PM office. I didn't go, and when the PM's advisor called me, Santhosh, we had done a 360 on you. When I joining us, a straight question on the train. Then I told him, sir, I'm doing this predictive governance, blockchain backbone, state family database. I'm doing it for 2,000-3,000 crores along with the BharatNet project. Arey Baba, you do 2 lakh crores with us. But still I didn't go because I had made the Honorable Chief Minister announce all these predictive governance. A period dream. That birth certificate, death certificate, mobile sale without you ever applying for it. That's my biggest dream. And it's very easy if you have the blockchain backbone and the state family database. Then we can do it with various departments. For example, buying and selling land will become just like buying and selling a cup of tea. So, அந்த மாதிரி எழுதாக்க முடியும் என்று Estonia has showed us. Various countries, Denmark is showing us. So why can't we do it? நம்ம பசங்க தான இந்த வேர்ல்ட்க்கு சாஃப்ட்வேர் டெவலப் பண்ணி கொடுக்குற. உலகத்து பூரா தமிழ்நாடு தானே மக்கள் போய் சாஃப்ட்வேர் டெவலப் பண்ணி கொடுக்கு. ஏன் நமக்கு பண்ண கூடாது? So that's essential.
Exactly.
It's now so easy. I can do it yesterday.
Correct.
But நமக்கு அந்த பவர் வேணும் செய்யிறதுக்கு. பவர் தானே நமக்கு இல்ல. இப்போ இந்த மாதிரி பேச்சு எல்லாம் பேச்சில தான் நிக்குது.
Correct.
But power
my question is actually to that so when we are talking about more digitalized including this and even lot of connectivity through internet to reach the village basically. My question is, that is after the election or after we winning. But now, as a party, we are into the vote politics. So, in the vote அரசியல்ல நாம கிராமத்துல இருக்கிற ஓட்டையும் கவர் பண்ண வேண்டியது இருக்கு. That is one of the main reason how we are going to do it. And other one is, are we doing kind of a data analysis, like taking a voters list or number of votes per area? What is the maximum vote in that particular togudi or whatever it is, and we concentrate more on that because we don't have a time or whatever it is, because anyway we are 3 years party, so we are not expected to go on each and every door of Tamil Nadu voters. It's very difficult. So at least some kind of a strategy based on real data on the government side or voters basically.
Actually, the campaign office, private sector, Sankhya.com, the campaign office has done exactly this. So they have zeroed in on constituencies where we won, we had 12 to 15% votes. Other 66 constituencies identify panirkom. What is the pattern, etc. So a lot of granular level data is there in our Mayam Connect app itself. So suppose ஒரு MLA தொகுதி நிக்கக்கூடிய அவங்க அந்த ஆப் பார்த்தாலே நிறைய இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் ஆப்லயே வந்துட்டு இருக்கு. It's being fed continuously by the data team. So it's not as if it's not there. But the ability also should be available to the candidate to understand data, isn't it? So we can't give him so much of data that he'll go mad. But at least அவங்களோட native wisdom use பண்ணி இந்த data பயன்படுத்தியால் they'll be able to hit it right on the head. But having said that, the problem is we can't match any party when they give money. Obviously ஒரு தம்படி கூட நம்ம கொடுக்க மாட்டேன். தலைவர் அப்படிதானே சொல்லியிருக்கேன். நான் கொடுக்கவும் கூடாது. பணம் கொடுத்து ஓட்டு வாங்குறது, that is the first reason for corruption. Why political parties accumulate money is because 5 வருஷம் accumulate பண்ணிட்டு then இவங்களுக்கு 2000 ரூபாய் கொடுத்தா அடுத்த 5 வருஷம் இருக்கலாம். So basically it is small amount. நாங்க என்ன சொல்றோம் சொல்லியா, நீங்க if you don't pay money, if you don't take money and vote with your conscience, you'll be able to save 2 to 3 lakhs which you otherwise give us bribes, whereas you are getting only 2,000 which anyways goes to the tax max shop. But it's difficult to make people understand. But at least இப்போ இருக்கக்கூடிய aspirational youth 15 years to 45 years age group, this is the critical, we are having a baby boom in Tamil Nadu. இது ஒரு 2 decades தாண்டியா எதுவுமே கிடைக்காது. Then we'll be like China, we'll have older people. Right now around 60 to 70% of the population is this age group. So அவங்களே நம்ம ரீச் பண்ண வச்சோம். They all have Facebook account, Twitter account, social media accounts எல்லாம் இருக்கு. So அவங்களே ரீச் பண்ண முடிஞ்சா we can do an inexpensive campaign. And repetition is key. They சொல்லிட்டே இருக்க வேண்டியது, திருப்பி சொல்ல வேண்டியது. Why what I'm not able to understand is people say எதுக்கு losing partyக்கு vote போடணும், அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு thought process. Now how do you determine which is a losing party? They say, even when I say to youngsters, நீங்க DMK மோசமா இருக்கு, ADMK மோசமா இருக்கு, MNM க்கு vote பண்ணலாம், என்ன சின்னதா இருக்கு. I'm saying it's not about the party being small. It's about the ideas. What are we standing for? We are standing for you, your future, your children, your grandchildren. If we go like this, we'll have a state which is in utter chaos, which will have only untruthful people in the state. We don't want that. We want people to have happy families, happy society, and it will happen only when people are more truthful to each other. So, they're saying if the man takes a bribe and does his work, then that's not corruption. If he takes money and does not do the work, then that's corruption. And the level of the corruption definition, we need to change this. This is Gandhi's naadu. This is Gandhi kashtapattu uruvakkiya naadu. And the naattil indha mari arajagatham nadakkurudhu. Oru podhilum namma adu allow pannakoodadhu. And that's our message to our people. Don't get deceived by a politician who comes and pays you money. You're finished for life. You will only get incremental leadership. You will not get transformational leadership.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So we have just a couple of our friends.
Yeah.
If that's okay with you, sir, just a couple of our friends. Sure. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Next we have Susila Ma from UK, sir.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you for coming for this session with us. It's been really, I have no words. Very encouraging to listen to what you had to say, and your passion. Can be seen. It's there all over you, in your body language, in your words. Thank you so much. So my question is kind of connected to Arun's question, but I don't think he touched upon this aspect exactly. See, I'm interested to know when corruption is so widespread, as we all know, not only in Tamil Nadu, all over India. How was it possible for you to stay clean? What was your conviction? What drove you? I'd like to, maybe you have said it, but I'd like to hear it again.
Maybe, I don't know, it's possibly the upbringing. All of us brought up, mothers will say, be clean, be honest. But the possibly, central school education has been a factor, I would say, because they keep talking about patriotism, and NCC has been one of the things. And when you talk about patriotism, I personally feel that it's about being loving to your people. If you take out Indians from the Indian landmass, you can't love the landmass, right? It's a people who constitutes India. And when you see poor people on the roads, when you see, when you still feel that, after seeing Gandhi film and all, how much they have struggled for this country, you can never be corrupt. That's my feeling, because we get a good breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We get good clothes. We get chauffeur-driven cars. We get everything. IAS officers, you don't need anything more. And the good salary is there, recognition is there. What more do you require? You only need to self-actualize. Unfortunately, there are so many pressures, family pressures, political pressures. The pressures, if you can smile and say, first time no, drugs madri. Say first time no, first time every time. And the aspect then I think temptation, as Gautam Buddha said, temptation is the reason for all sorrow. Temptation, I don't know how I say it, but if you keep 1,000 crores in front of me, I still will not blink my eyes, because what will I do with that money? All I require is a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and my ability to spend time with my family. It's all without cost. Obviously, there are times when I was in the CM cell. There was no money in the house. I and my wife were searching all over the place, finding the kudukela odachi paatha 50 paisa ₹1 kadachu. Still, I didn't. We want to see the film that day. So what we did is we took the bunch of Hindu newspapers, and I took it to the Walaja and sold the newspaper for 750 rupees and saw that film that day. Never for that moment we realized that we can take it from the system. That's probably inbuilt, but I think we can train ourselves to be like that. To be aware that there are people below you who don't have these, happinesses, and that's it.
Thank you.
That's so wonderful to know. Oh, I'll cherish this story always. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma. So next we have Ravi Kiran.
Hello, sir. Pleasure
Hello,
to
Ravi.
see you again. Hi, thank you, sir. Yeah, it is like for me, it is not really surprising that you are in this party, sir. So what I really wanted to know is like basically I have two questions. So one is, what was the very first action point that you had after joining the party that you wanted to execute it immediately? That's my yeah, probably.
Yeah. Thank you for asking that question. Actually, Thalaivar Kamal sir, he had a lot of expectations, especially putting the house in order. Because it's a party which is newly born, and people are coming in, going out. There are many issues that need to be resolved to put the house in order, as it were. So that's what exactly I'm doing. So postings, for example, posting இப்போ நீங்க கிளே செயலாளர் மாவட்ட செயலாளர் போட்டு நம்ம ஆஃபீஸில் அனுப்புவாங்க. So they had a very very strange system. பேப்பர்ல அனுப்புவாங்க, then they will send an Excel sheet. 300 அனுப்புவாங்க, நம்ம அழிச்சிடுவாங்க 5 தானே கிடைச்சது, அல்ல 300 அனுப்பியாச்சு 5 தானே தேர்றதுன்னு சொல்லி. So what I did was, the moment I came, I spoke to Sridhar Vembu, who's a good personal friend, Zoho, and he gave me the software free. And today we have made the entire state paperless insofar as this is concerned, posting software. Thalaivar day first today, one click 60 approvals பண்ணியாச்சு. So I'm extremely happy that those postings is being taken care of. நமக்கு ஒரு 4000 postings மாதிரி பெண்டிங்கா இருக்கு. அதெல்லாம் now we'll get it done, because people is party and party is people. If you don't have people to work for us, when they are willing to work and you're not posting them, that's a big problem. So now I think that's solved for once. Second is, நிறைய பேர் நம்மகிட்ட வந்து சார் கிட்ட பெட்டிஷன் கொடுப்பாங்க, எனக்கு பைசா இல்ல, இந்த மாதிரி விஷயம் இருக்கு, அந்த வில்லேஜ்ல இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு. And what happens is that it's marked to different people, and then nobody knows what happened to it. So I asked Soho again. They've given me an ERP which we are launching tomorrow, so that it becomes a paperless administration, right from Kile right up to president. And if they don't take action in 24 hours, now we are put in at 48 hours, it gets automatically escalated to the next higher level. And we'll know who is holding what paper at any point of time. This is the second one. Third is the Mayam Whistle app, which is a fantastic thing, which is there much before I came, and it's my dream to build, but it's actually there, and we are improving it. Seeing if there is a problem in a village, you take a photograph and send it to the party people. Now I'm ensured that it goes to the government itself and then comes back as a reply. Then there's Mayam Connect, Mayam Connect app, which is developed again by the campaign office. And it's a fantastic app which has not been used. So I'm trying to put it to use so that we can do away with the hundreds of WhatsApp groups that we have. WhatsApp, it's again, you shoot from the hip. You don't get any basic stuff from it. The Mayam website also I'm improving a lot. So my accent has been on to ensure that Thalaivar and team has very easy access to our people, to petitions, to communications, etc. So I think I'm largely succeeded in that, and I want our party to be declared as the only completely digital party in the country by 21st, when we're completing 3 years. I've told Thalaivar about that. He has agreed to that also. But having said that, the biggest problem is making people work on these apps. Because they're good at WhatsApp, but they're using these apps to actually fill up stuff, because these are web forms and they're blockchain backbone, etc. to it. It's a tall order, but I'm expecting our people to become savvy, because among the savvy, how will they go and tell people to be savvy? Yeah. So that's a farmer's thought. So, but apart from that, the manifesto has been so the only condition under which I came and joined sir was make me the chairman of the manifesto team, and he made me that. So I'm very happy, because I got a fantastic team. They all contribute. All these 2,000 odd emails that have come, we have gone through it. We looked at good points. So manifesto, I would say, would be the biggest thing that I'm doing right now, along with the digitization of the party.
Perfect, sir. I have one more question. That is,
yes,
we have just 3 odd months for the election. Do you think M&M is already there where it has to be, like it is already in the people's heart, or do you think what is the most important thing that we have to do?
So a good question. I came in at the right time, because Kamal sir was going on for his campaign. We covered around 5,000 kilometers. I was personally traveling with him, and I've seen the Elchi nalla irundhathu. But conversion is a different job altogether, and that has to be done by the keel level, Mauta level. So that's the work that's going to happen in the next few weeks. How to get our people to go. So for example, we need around 10 persons per booth. There are 300 booths average in a constituency. So the 3000 per constituency. And these 310 people per booth should divide themselves into 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 and go to different households and keep repeating these manifestos. Then only the work will happen. See, rural areas will reach agala. That's the truth. Urban areas, obviously, because people are reading newspapers, etc. I think in the next 3 months, our action will be on reaching out at the Kile level, at the booth level, and on the 10 people. They are the critical people. Then my software is now helping people to come in, and we are approving them very quickly. So we are not there. We are not there as of now. But our effort is to reach out to every constituency that we are contesting in, and we don't know how many of that is right now. But obviously, we are looking at 234 numbers as of now.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Next, we have Sendirana. Sendirana.
Sir, Vanakkam, sir. It's always been a great inspiration to see your speech and the passion in you, sir. Definitely, it's always a great inspiration. So, my question on the third or fourth line leaders, அவங்க கிட்ட வந்து அந்த ஒரு பயிற்சி பட்டறை மாதிரி workshops, especially for ஏதாவது ஒரு வீட்டுக்கு போய் அந்த லீஃப்லெட் கொடுக்குறாங்க சார். அது எப்படி வந்து சொல்லி ஓட் கேட்கறது, எப்படி அந்த கொஸ்டின்ஸ் ஹேண்டில் பண்றது அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு பைட் சைஸ் ஒர்க்ஷாப்ஸோ இல்லை யூடியூப் வீடியோஸோ கொடுக்க முடியுமா சார் நம்ம?
No, that's a brilliant thought. Actually, Thalaivar, he has told us yesterday that he would like to review every clay to find out how they're doing. So this is a brilliant thought. How do you go and reach out and tell? So I think videos can be useful. அங்க போயிட்டு அவங்கள வாட்ஸ்அப் நம்பர் வாங்கிட்டு அவங்களுக்கு அந்த வாட்ஸ்அப் வீடியோ அனுப்ப முடிஞ்சால் that will be a repetition. So slickly made. I think M&M Nanbargal has offered to do that for us. So maybe we'll revert back to you on that, Senthil. But definitely a brilliant idea. I will take it to Thalaivar. He's already, doing some slick videos and all, but it's taking some time. But as you say, lower level, அவங்க அந்த ரெப்பிட்டேஷன் ஒரே மாதிரி மெசேஜ் எப்படி போய் சொல்றது, அதுதானே ரொம்ப முக்கியமானது. பிகாஸ் நம்மளோட மெசேஜிங் கொஞ்சம் டெக்னிக்கலா இருக்கு as of now. என்னோட வாட்ஸ்அப் இந்த மேனிஃபெஸ்டோஸ்ல பார்த்தா அது இன்னும் புரியக்கூடிய விஷயம் தமிழ்ல, தூய்மை தமிழ் எல்லாமே சாதாரண தமிழ் நம்ம கொண்டு சேர்க்க முடியும். அதுக்கு I think I'll come back to you on this.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So we have one last question from Subbu Anna.
Hello, sir. Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Sorry, I don't want to take much of the time. I had sent an email already, when you had just asked for invited for ideas. The same thing, like, how can we set up a research hub? How can we make Tamil Nadu as a kind of research hub? It's because, இதே மாதிரி லைன்ஸ்ல தான் இப்போ பாத்தீங்கன்னா 10 days முன்னாடி ஸ்ரீதர் வெம்பு கூட ஒரு எழுதினார் ஆர்டிகல் எழுதினார், எக்கனாமிக் பாலிசி or actually economic policy should become an industrial policy அப்படின்னு எழுதினார். Which means that நம்ம இன்னைக்கு what we are making today, we are not the owner of that, or we don't know the know-how of that. We don't own that, right? So இப்போ நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா 2 years முன்னாடி 3 years முன்னாடி வந்து பிஎம் when he was just at announcing that make in India சொல்லும் போது நல்லா இருந்தது, எக்ஸைட்டிங்கா இருந்தது. பட் மேக் இன் இந்தியா இஸ் not alone is sufficient, right, sir? If you say that we should know the know-how of that, right? We should own that know-how of that. Until that happens, actually, the mere actually make in India is not going to solve the purpose. How can we achieve that from your thoughts, from your experience?
So either we are kind of writing it in the school education manifesto and the college education, higher education manifesto, where we're talking about research very deeply. Because what's happening is research in Chile, they are doing some PhD, some, but actual research, especially if you can encourage startups, so hold hackathons, etc. in colleges, and encourage this. Not with the hackathons, only a few colleges are doing. Why can't you make it part of the curriculum itself? That if you hold so many hackathons, and then only you will get so many credits, etc. Actually compulsory panna vachal, which becomes part of their curriculum. Then the automatic thought about building up new ideas will come, and research will not happen because you have a research lab. See, today the biggest research can be done on the internet by reading, etc. And then kind of visualizing how a particular product or service or patent can be. Either startups எல்லாம் நிறைய பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. Village level, if you ask me, it's not there. They are only taught ABCD and then asked to regurgitate that. Now we need to build this innovative or creative thinking. And that's where I have come up with this poverty to prosperity idea. So what I said was, we should have a household-based approach. Find out what each household has as potential. Each household என்ன potential இருக்கு அந்த ஃபேமிலிக்கு, அந்த பையனுக்கு அந்த பொண்ணுக்கு என்ன potential இருக்கு, அந்த potentialக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி அவங்கள முன்னுக்கு கொண்டு போயா we'll have sowed the seeds of research in them or creativity in them. Instead of saying நல்லா படிங்க, they may not be interested in studying. They may be interested in drawing, painting, or playing music, or they could be good on the computer. We don't know what it is that they are brilliant at, but our children are very brilliant. But யாரு போய் கேக்குறாங்க நீங்க என்ன இருக்கு? So building up, I have said that there will be a ministry of possibilities. The whole idea was, even a 5-year-old boy can walk into my room and say, I have this idea, can you help me? Because the ideas need a market, and what bigger market than government தான் இந்த ஐடியா எடுத்து அவனை encourage பண்ணி. See, for example, கோயம்புத்தூர்ல ஒரு பையன் இருக்கேன், கார்த்திக்னு சொல்லி. He came up with an idea that the swab can be taken with a robo, and he did the entire robo for 2,000 rupees. I was the first person to encourage him and take him to different areas, different medical colleges, etc. I wanted to do it. Finally, when I jumped out, he was very disappointed. But 2,000 rupees and the payan, he's a school dropout, but he did that. But the state is not ready to encourage such people. My point is, research may come, may not come, but creativity is there in every human being, and we need to encourage that creativity. And a ministry of possibilities could be one organization which can say that every college, every educational institution which comes out with creative ideas, we will encourage them and we'll provide a market for them. So I think that's my long answer or short answer to that question. But it requires a lot of thinking on this. This is what you asked is very, very deep question.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Anna. So thank you, sir. One last question, and then I'll hand it over to Kannan Anna, sir. There's one friend of ours named Burjan from North America. So அவர் கேட்டிருக்காரு, sir, நீங்க வந்துட்டு மையம்ல ஜாயின் பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் one aspect of Kamal sir which you felt like really wow about, something that you didn't know earlier.
So I always thought of him as a film star. I dismissed when many people said, why did you join Kamal sir and all. I dismissed. See, that's the problem. You tend to judge people, and I always said that we should never judge anybody. But I judged him as a film star and I left. But when I joined him, I realized that he's a consummate leader, a very creative person. Ulaga Nayagan chumma sollala. Let me tell you, he's world class. In his thinking, he is world class. So that's what struck me. And his ability to relate to small stories in his lifetime as a child, etc., is amazing. If you travel with him, it's very, very educative, because he talks about ordinary things in an extraordinary way, which I find, I would have thought, that's a very small thing, but he takes it up and makes it so beautiful, so interesting. And that's a hallmark of a leader, to make everything look interesting. He's a good listener. His ethics is good. He has no personal agenda. That's what I think. He has no personal agenda. So if you look at leadership as a word, L would be for being a good listener, E for ethics, A for having no agenda, D for direction, E for being an enabler, R for being responsible, S for having a sphere of influence, H for being happy, he's a very happy person all the time, and P for passion. So all these things I look for people, look in people who are leaders, and I find he's a very consummate leader, and he has those leadership skills, which I think Tamil Nadu is owner of, that here's a leader who is thinking differently. Don't look at these dealers. Forget these dealers we are done with dealership for 70 years. Let's look at extraordinary leadership. And, and the transformation leadership as against incremental leadership. And the transformation leadership, you will not find too many people in the world itself. You'll find a Lee Kuan Yew or a Jawaharlal Nehru or, Modi, or, many of them are transformation leaders in the thought process itself. And Kamal sir is a transformation leader, is a consummate leader. Not because he's my boss at the moment, but this is what I observed about him. And I'm sorry that I prejudge him. He's extraordinary.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, and can we expect the manifestos very soon, or number March 7th varaiku wait pannunga?
We'll be releasing our manifesto on 21st. We'll have 21 sectors on 21st. That will be the first phase of the manifesto, and there'll be a second phase we'll release on March 7th.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you so much, sir. Personally, I really, really enjoyed it and was such a honor to actually know more about you. Thank you so much, sir. So nice to be under your leadership. And I hand it over to Kananana now, sir, for the final.
Thank you, Linda. You yourself was a very great inspiration for me. Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Linda and Ravi, for anchoring the event. சார், ரொம்ப உங்க அலுவலர்களுக்கு நடுவுல எங்களுக்கு இவ்வளவு நேரம் செலவழித்து எங்க நண்பர்கள் குழுமம் கேட்ட இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்கான கேள்விகள், நிறைய சுவாரஸ்யமான விஷயங்களையும் கேட்டிருக்காங்க. அதுக்கு எல்லாத்துக்கும் பொறுமையா பதில் சொன்னதுக்கு மிக்க நன்றி. எனக்கு கேள்வி கேட்க தெரியாது, அதனால நான் கேட்கல. அதனால உங்களுக்கு
நீங்க பண்ணக்கூடிய நண்பர்கள் பண்ணக்கூடிய உங்களோட வேலை இன்னும் சிறக்கட்டும். Definitely I look forward to more interactions with you. This is the third interaction I'm having, and I'm just waiting for the final constituency approach, and then I'll come back to you and ask for those helps that you so happily offered. And உங்களுடைய அந்த ஆதங்கம் அது எனக்கு இருக்கு. We need to change Tamil Nadu. The potential of Tamil Nadu is here.
Yes.
The governance is here. So this is the gap that has to be bridged by good leadership.
Yes.
And only Kamal sir can provide that.
Absolutely. Like, one of the things you talked about transformation, like, as part of my profession, I manage transformation programs. One of the things I always insist is the people at the top, the people executing, have to walk the talk. If they don't walk the talk, then they can't expect any change downward. இது over incident I pinged you separately, but there has been a few of those, but I feel like, there is a gap. It's not a huge gap to surmount, but that has to be filled, sir.
Yes. Hopefully we'll be able to walk the talk. Thank you, Kanan sir. Have a great time over there, wherever you are. Be safe. Think about all our people. The world is such a beautiful place.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Everyone.
Thank you.